There we go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? At home with your boy Caleb Truax. Show you what I've been doing this whole COVID-19 quarantine session, and I'm just gonna give you one of my favorite workouts. I got some miles in this morning. Now I'm gonna do some wood chopping and just answer you guys' questions and hang out for the next 45 minutes or however long we stay live. So I'm gonna get my workout in. Ask some questions. You guys hear some jokers in the background. It's my cousins. I'm up at my aunt and uncle's house in Monticello, place where I spent a lot of time growing up here on the lake. Doing some fishing, maybe. Turn this into a fishing show. All right, I'm just chopping wood. We got anybody tuned in or what?
Yep. People are watching. Just I told them to fire away with questions.
Fire away. I'm here for a while. I'll answer all your questions. Anything you got.
How long do you usually chop wood for?
You know, it's a tough workout, and I usually do it for my cousin who lives across the street, and he's got a wood burning stove. So as long as we get what we got to do, if we chop down some trees and chop them up and split them up, however long it takes, man. Usually I go for a run, like usually 3 miles, 3.5 miles in the morning, and when I'm done, we'll finish with splitting wood. It's usually, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. And it's a hard workout afterward, especially after getting your miles in. Throughout this whole quarantine, I've been trying to get my road work in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's a park not too far from my house called Bertram Park where we run on some bike trails, and it's a really challenging run because it's up and around hills and around trees, and they have obstacles built in for the mountain bikers that are up there. And so we usually get our 3 miles in, come back, chop some wood, and that's been my routine usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday throughout the quarantine. I've just been trying to stay as busy as I can because all gyms are closed down. I'm lucky enough to have a private boxing gym where I'm able to get there a few times a week and do my social distance thing and stay away from everybody else and get my workout in. But it's been tough trying to find ways to get a sweat going, and just been pounding the road, pounding the pavement, and chopping wood, old school stuff.
Somebody said this is the Minnesota version of wax on, wax off.
Something like that. Something like that. John Henry, Minnesota John Henry.
Somebody commented on the quality of the axe.
Yeah.
Is it a good one?
It's a Gerber. It's a nice axe. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh, watch stuff.
That's a good one. Zach Barr wants to know if you're still working out at Likes Gym in Anoka. Ouch.
I'm definitely still at Likes Gym. It's not in Anoka anymore. We have the same people, same group of trainers. My guy Tom, Tony G, Ron, Jim, everybody, Arnie. But in Anoka, or after Anoka, we moved to Coon Rapids Boulevard. Then we moved to Foley Boulevard, and just recently we've switched locations to St. Louis Park, right off of Highway 10 and 65, or not St. Louis Park, excuse me, Spring Lake Park, right by Spring Lake Park High School. So we've been there since about December of this year, and we were just getting things rolling as far as like a kids program and getting stuff up and running. But the obviously the quarantine stuff dealt us a blow. So I'm hoping that we can open up as business as usual when everything gets back up and running. But small gyms and small businesses are going to have a tough go at it. So I really hope that we can keep it open, but we'll see, I guess, when everything gets back to normal. If it does get back to normal, new normal. Luckily in Minnesota this year we've had a halfway decent spring, and we were able to get outside, and I've been trying to spend as much time outside as I possibly can. And started my garden a couple weeks ago, and just been walking outside with my kids and trying to get them accustomed to nature and animals and gardening and stuff like that. But this is the kind of stuff that I love to do, just to stay active and just be outside. When it's nice like this, it's always a plus to be able to get a workout in and be able to stay outside. And the lake's behind me, just beautiful scenery, and makes it easier to work out.
There might have been a sound issue. Caleb, you want to answer the question again from Zach on whether you're still working out at Likes?
Yeah, I'm still working out at Likes, but it's in a different location. I think he asked if it was in Anoka before. When I first started, it was in Anoka. We moved to Coon Rapids in, I forgot what year, but we were in Coon Rapids Boulevard for a while. Then we moved to Foley Boulevard. We were there for like 6 or 7 years. And we just recently moved to Spring Lake Park, so just right down the road from Coon Rapids. And it's right off of Highway 10 and 65. And we moved there. We've been there since about December, I believe, and we were just starting to get things up and rolling as far as kid classes go, and just the gym in general. And then the COVID-19 quarantine thing hit and kind of messed up our plans. So I'm hoping that everything goes back to normal after the gyms open back up and it's safe to get back in there with a bunch of people. Elm, stringier than oak, tougher to split. Makes for a better workout. You guys gotta fire away, man. Don't leave me splitting wood out here forever. Asking questions.
Man, that is stubborn.
What's that?
That is stubborn.
So I think today I think they announced some boxing. I think Jamel Herring is gonna fight June 9th on ESPN, and I think another top-ranked fight on ESPN is like for the 11th. But I'm excited to get back to work, man. I think Premier Boxing should be announcing some fights pretty soon. I heard some rumblings about July when the next fights are going to be for PBC, and I'm just ready to get back and rolling, you know. And everybody, it's tough to I guess justify getting back to the ring, but at the same time, you know, we got to make a living for our families as well, and if we can do it safely, like with no fans in attendance, I guess we got to do what we got to do. And I've seen a lot of fighters saying like they don't want to fight with no fans in attendance, and I'm not one of them. I'm more than happy to put on a show for a TV audience only, but at the same time, it's gonna be weird. You know, I'm used to having 4,000, 5,000 people at the Armory in Minneapolis supporting me and screaming my name. So it's gonna be strange to fight without audience and without people screaming. But you gotta do what you gotta do to get back boxing. So it should be interesting to say the least.
Juan says a Salvadorian would have chopped a whole tree in less than an hour while drinking beer and overweight.
Hey, I'm not overweight. Oh, I may be a little bit overweight right now, but maybe I'll have a beer afterwards. Celebrate with a beer. But I don't doubt you.
Juan wants to know, when do you expect to get back in the ring?
You know, I've kind of had my mind set on July. I haven't heard anything official. I haven't heard any announcements of fights or anything like that. But just to kind of keep my mind in the right place, I've set myself for a July return. If that happens, great. If not, then I'll be ready for an August return or September return, whatever. But in a couple weeks, I'm going on vacation to my happy place, the Boundary Waters, doing a canoe trip and fishing trip up there. And once I get back, you know, it'll be all business. I think I'll be back June 15th or something like that, and it'll be all business after that. But hopefully July. If it's later than that, so be it. But I'll be ready either way.
All right. Mark McBride wants to know, have you ever seen Al Haymon face to face or just on the phone, and why is he such a mystery?
I have actually, man. Most of us guys haven't. And I met Al Haymon way back in the day, before I was signed to him, before PBC was a thing. I was sparring with Enrique Ornelas, one of his clients back when he first got rolling. I was sparring with Enrique Ornelas for his fight. I believe he fought Marco Antonio Rubio, and this is probably like 2008. And I went down. I was sparring in Big Bear with Enrique. I went down to see Paul Williams fight Andy Coley, a Minnesota guy that was in California. Tony G and I drove down to watch the fight, and Paul Williams was fighting Andy, and Chris Areola was fighting somebody else, and those are both Haymon guys. And I met him at the fight, and you know, he thanked me for sparring with Enrique. And so that was the first and only time I met him. But I've talked to him on the phone a few times, and you know, after my fight with DeGale in London, he called me up and congratulated me. And you know, he's a mystery, that's for sure. You know, and he keeps it as low key as you could possibly get. But he's done a lot for my career, and I can tell that he really cares about his guys, really cares about his fighters, and wants the best for them. So he's been awesome to me in my book. So that's he's a mystery though. That's for sure. Media mystery.
Keith from St. Louis says, hello from St. Louis. When are you fighting again? Are you willing to fight in an empty arena? You kind of answered that, but
Keith, I just said that a little bit ago. I'm hoping to fight in July. That's kind of what I have my mind set on. If it's an empty arena, then so be it. You know, I have to provide for my family. I have to make a living, and if that's what it takes to do it, then so be it. But I don't want to. Obviously, I want my fans to be in attendance. I want people to be able to see it. But at the same time, it will be on TV most likely, and people can watch it on TV. So I just want to get back to fighting. Hopefully, July.
Jeremy Johnson wants to know which opponent has hit you the hardest.
Jeremy Johnson. Is that my
Yeah.
friend Jeremy
Yeah,
from
Yep.
Minneapolis, Jeremy?
Yep.
What's up, man? You know, I've fought some great fighters. I think probably the two biggest punchers that I fought were Phil Williams from Minneapolis. He's a real big puncher, bigger guy, and Antoine Eccles had a really good right hand. Those are two biggest punchers. I think Danny Jacobs was the best puncher that I fought because he was real quick and could deliver it better than those two. But I've fought some good guys, and I don't know. I've been hit by some good punchers and taking most of them. So.
Mark wants to know, against who was your hardest sparring with?
I've sparred with a lot of guys, man. I've sparred with Minnesota guys, guys from in California and in Vegas. I sparred with Enrique Arenales, like I was saying before. He was a really strong, tough Mexican. Sparred with Peter Quillen. Sparred with a guy that was a tricky left-hander named I think his name is Saeed Wali. He was a Mayweather guy in Vegas, a left-handed guy. He was smaller than me, but he was a real tricky guy. I sparred with here in town Jamal James. He's a long, rangy welterweight. I sparred with him over the years. Sparred with Robert Brandt, who won the WBA regular title, and he's a great fighter. I don't know, it's tough to say who the hardest or the toughest sparring I've had is, but I've been in there with a lot of guys, that's for sure. And I appreciate it. You know, the better guys you work with, the better I'm going to get. So I've always never shied away from tough sparring.
Josh Cabrera wants to know, how would you fight Canelo?
How would I fight Canelo? Canelo's a beast, man. He's probably, well, if not number one, he's definitely top 3 pound for pound. And I think you just got to keep your distance and don't let him get to the body, and don't let him punch in combination, and maybe try to back him up instead of letting him walk you down. So it'd be a tall task, but if I fought him, me and my team we'd figure out a way to get to him. So I'm always confident I can figure out how to get to anybody. I need that Salvadorian guy to come split this log for me.
Seti Sabino wants to know, do you watch boxing?
Mike, you know the answer to that, man. Come on, Mike. Of course
No,
I watch boxing.
no, this is Seti. I don't know.
That's
Okay.
Mike.
Okay.
Of course I do, man. I talk to him about boxing every single day in the gym. He's the guy that comes to likes, and we talk about boxing every day. By some of his opinions, it sounds like he doesn't watch boxing, but of course I watch boxing. I'm a huge fan. I was a fan of boxing before I even thought about fighting. So, you know, I imagine I watch more than most pros do. You know, I try to catch everything that's on. I'm subscribed to everything I can possibly watch fights on, and catch them every weekend. You know, Sean, you've been to my house for fights, and I love to host fight parties at my house and have all my friends over and have some drinks and have some good food and just watch boxing. He's been to my house for a fight party. Of course he knows I watch boxing.
Right, we got to educate Chris. Chris wants to know, what fight are you most known for?
What fight am I most known for?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear that winning the world title against James DeGale in 2017 in London, his hometown, that's got to be the fight that I'm most known for. That's my kind of keystone moment so far, so that's got to be the answer, I think.
And Mark wants to know, what's your least favorite thing about camp?
My least favorite thing about camp is not eating what I want to eat. I like food. I like good food, and yeah. I mean, I'm a super middleweight. I have to stay in shape and hit that 168-pound limit. So I think that's probably every fighter in history's least favorite thing about camp, except for heavyweight. I think I'm all done, man. Should we go on to the beach?
Sure.
Do some fishing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn this at home with Caleb Truax into a fishing show. Where's my pole?